Now, one of the joys of keeping large American cichlids, or one of the misfortunes, I should say, of keeping large American cichlids, is that sometimes they turn on each other, as has happened here for this poor fella. It's been absolutely polarized by some of the other fish in the tank, and it's been kept in a sort of separate little tank long enough for it to survive and start healing, but its overall condition is absolutely terrible. This poor little guy is looking at me saying, "Save me." So with any large American cichlids, keeping an eye on them, making sure that you've got a good dominant fish that's giving everyone a hurry along and not hurting anyone is very important. But you must be watching them, because if you don't keep an eye on them, they can beat each other up like this, and your fish will end up looking like that. So I mean, you'll often see a cichlid like this guy. I mean, I'm not even totally sure what he is. I'm assuming he's like a red devil, but he's beaten up to the point that I'm not even 100% sure what this fish is. Often kept with another big fella like this, which is a big Oscar. Another fella like this, which is another big Oscar. So when it comes to mixing these fish, it really is pretty much a matter of, will your dog get along with my dog? Depending on the size tank too. These fish all get along very well together if you have a nice big tank with plenty of fish. When you try and keep these fish in small aquariums, they go into what's called hyper-dominant mode, and if you don't have enough fish, they can really beat each other up. As they get bigger, especially Oscars, they do tend to mellow out, so they're not too bad. But something like a red devil, which is that fella there, he's the sort of guy you really got to watch, because they get extremely aggressive. Whereas an Oscar, he's very gluttonous, loves his food, but really isn't as purely aggressive as something like a red devil. And if you feed these things up on live food and beef heart and all that sort of stuff, you will expect them to be more aggressive as they grow. Whereas if you just feed them up on a high quality pellet, they don't tend to be as aggressive. So once again, grow them up with plenty of fish so they don't have only child syndrome. The other thing is, growing them up with plenty of fish tends to make them a little bit more relaxed. Fish tend to fret a little bit more when there's not many fish in the tank. Just so hopefully you can avoid having a fish getting his ass whipped like this one. But unfortunately, when you are keeping large American cichlids, this is just something that happens every now and then. You can do your best to avoid it, but it can happen. This poor guy is almost beaten up beyond recognition. The other thing is, with these sorts of cichlids, like your baby Oscars, they just grow so fast. Like, it's just amazing how quickly that little fella can turn into this big fella. You can pretty much watch them grow. Are we keeping you up, eh?